Hello, everyone. This is Steve Palladino from Palladino Power Project, and I'm going to bring you another video this time, just looking at the power duration curve and looking at how our perceived exertion changes depending on power and duration. Um, Perceived exertion ultimately is going to be a manifestation of relative intensity and duration. Um, I'm going to see how those interplay. What I'm going to do is use a power duration curve model. This is the model power duration for an athlete. It's using a 12 months worth of data, so we can get a good general picture of this athlete over the past 12 months. Um, and what I have here, what I built is the actual power duration curve power. You can see as I scroll, this number up here will change. And what I've done also is I'm going to use an example of this runner running a 10-mile race. The runner would run right around 57:36, right around 280 watts would be their 10-mile power. In other words, that's their maximum for 57 minutes and 36 seconds. Fortunately, they cover 10 miles in that time, and it's about 280 watts. So the other thing I have up here in this chart here is what 280 watts represents as a percentage of this model power. So, for example, at 5 seconds, 280 watts relative to what they're capable as a max for 5 seconds is only 43% of their max for five seconds. And at 2 minutes, 280 watts would be about equivalent to 69% of their maximum that they could do for 2 minutes. And again, carrying this example a little further, if it was 10 minutes, let's draw this over to 10 minutes. It's 280 watts represents 82% of the maximum, which is 343 watts. And again, at 57 minutes and 36 seconds, it's 100% of maximum. That's maximum. So let's look. I'm going to change slides here to a conceptualization of this runner's perceived exertion. As the runner progresses at isopower, most races are best run at isopower. Of course, there's going to be little fluctuations. That's the power being stochastic, a bounciness to the power from for human reasons. The power, though, on average, is going to be ideally about isopower, or evenly paced, or evenly distributed power. So, under an ideal circumstances, this runner would average about 280 watts at any point throughout the 10-mile race until they reach their maximum. They get to this point, that's it. You can't go any further. That's maximum. That would be the ideal, is that you use it all up and you reach maximum at the finish line. So what happens is that initially, early on, the perceived exertion is fairly mild. It might be a 1 or a 2 in the first few seconds, and even in the first minutes, it might be just 3 or 4. But as you get closer to max, whether you're approaching it from as a vertical or approaching along the horizontal, which is more what we do when we're racing, as we approach max, perceived exertion gets higher and higher because we're getting closer to our max. So at any point, if we're looking at, and I'm going to switch back here, if we were looking at a 1 minute race, let's say they're racing 400 meters or around 400 meters, covers it in a minute. They would want to. They're going to average around 462 watts. And this is not a great example because that's not how 400-meter races are executed. But they're going to, whether they approach it from starting high or starting low, their max is going to be 462. And over here, after 2 seconds, it's not going to hurt that bad. But as you get to closer to 1 minute, and your power is getting closer to that max line, that's where the perceived exertion goes higher and higher. So over here, not so much. It doesn't hurt that much, but it's getting worse and worse as the seconds pass until 1 minute. Or if, let's say this runner was running a marathon to 2:32. Again, at 5 seconds, 2:32 doesn't hurt. Not after a minute, it still is a very low RPE, and as you get closer, say 40 minutes in, it still might not hurt too bad, but you're noticing it. And then once you get into this range here, an hour and 48, 2 hours, you get really close to that maximum point until you hit maximum. So there it is, a quick little demonstration on how perceived exertion changes if you're holding isopower, how it changes as the duration gets longer and longer until you reach that maximum point when that's it. That's all you have. That's what the power duration curve is about. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of understanding of how perceived exertion changes relative to time for a given relative intensity. And we'll hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.